In the studio this morning, I have Dr. Bright Chi Redu. He's from the Nabital Hospital in Tema Community 4. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. You?
Good, I'm fine. Thank you very much. First off, what are the causes of coughs?
Well, coughing is caused by anything that irritates the throat,
Okay.
particularly a place called the piriform recess, and it will initiate the cough reflex. So you can have infectious agents, viruses, bacteria commonly, or you could have toxic chemicals, something that irritate people. Also, sometimes dust particles going inside, or maybe food going down the wrong way can initiate the cough.
Okay. Now, we have a very stereotypical culture whereby we tend to self-prescribe a lot. Either that or we run to the pharmacy very quickly for an ailment which could be treated in other ways or forms. Is it always advisable to rush to the pharmacy and have cough mixture or lozenges to deal with the cough?
Definitely not. Most coughs may be caused by viral infections, which may be benign, tend to have a mild cause, probably recover within a week or so. But coughing too can be a symptom of very serious underlying disease. It could be the beginning of a pneumonia, which can be quite fatal. It could also be an asthmatic having an attack. You could also have sometimes chronic cough, tuberculosis, several other diseases. So the general impression is if one gets a cough without a fever and runny nose, sore throat, a bit of that, maybe a viral infection, that will resolve on its own. You don't need much of antibiotics. Taking enough fluids and vitamins perhaps will do. And if the cough goes on for a while and is productive, that is, produce sputum,
Right.
maybe yellowish, if it has blood in it, there's a fever, then one ought to see a doctor quickly for a checkup.
I mean, on all the packages, well, most of the packages, when you buy them, it does actually say if symptoms persist, contact a doctor.
Yeah.
Do you find people actually do that, or do you find they come when it's a little bit too late or when it gets to the extreme?
People want to wait for a lot of pain and fever and when they are really unwell before they come. So usually that's the presentation, typical presentation. People want to wait until they realize they're actually really sick before they come. They would have taken all of these things, some cough mixtures, some lozenges, yeah.
Okay. I've heard that there are certain ingredients in certain cough mixtures which actually can make it addictive. Is that true?
Not really.
No?
No.
Okay.
I haven't come across anyone addicted to
It's a
cough.
myth then. Okay. Now, can a simple cough turn into something serious?
Oh yes. Then it wouldn't be a simple cough. One will start having a cough that will dry. Then later on start producing sputum, which may be yellowish, maybe brownish. Later on have a fever. They'll come with a pneumonia. Sometimes people do self-medication at home, so they have a pneumonia that gets out of hand.
Right.
It becomes complicated. Sometimes they come with some fluid in the lungs, and we have to put in a chest tube to drain it.
Right.
So it's best that we seek early medical care for these things. If you're having a cough for like maybe 4 to 5 days and it's not resolving, and you feel ill with a fever, you ought to see a doctor quickly. And then also chronic coughing for more than 2 to 3 weeks. And when you have weight loss and you expose somebody who is coughing for a long time, that may probably be that you have tuberculosis. So,
So it's an indication of
yeah.
something.
And then when you see blood, when you cough and you see blood, that's also a warning sign. You ought to see a doctor really quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, when is it that wheezing becomes serious? Because obviously we saw a gentleman in the video at the very beginning. Sounded like he was crying, but it was literally just a long wheeze before he was coughing. Is it that the wheezing comes before the cough, or the cough comes out before the wheezing? What's the relationship between the two?
There's no definite relationship. It can be any of them.
Okay.
Yeah, but wheezing and a cough may signify an asthmatic attack.
Okay.
And asthmatics know they're asthmatic unless, of course, they are undiagnosed. So sometimes when they attack, they have bouts of cough. They may have an initial infection before the attacks, which triggers the attack. The attack sets in. So they will need to go on their reliever medication and then quickly report to hospital for assessment.
Okay. In absence of a pharmacist, doctor, what are the small things that we can do at home to assist with dealing with coughs?
Well, cough. I realize that cough mixtures, everybody seems to go for cough mixtures. And sometimes when you see parents with their children, they insist to give a cough mixture. Sometimes if you stand your grounds and say no, they become quite unhappy with you. Well, cough mixtures, there hasn't been any study that proves that cough mixtures actually do work there hasn't been any studies that disprove that they work. So it's a bit of a controversy surrounding it. But it's soothing. It provides some relief, especially when the cough is a dry cough.
Right.
But then again, coughing is a good thing, because when you cough, it helps clear the airway. If you have an infection, you have exudation in the lungs. When you cough, it brings them out.
Right.
So sometimes we don't want to suppress cough.
Okay.
We need to allow for coughing to occur so that it clears the airway quickly. But in children, studies haven't found any benefits. So weighing risk benefits, in some places, it's advised that children are not giving cough mixtures at all. But we realized that a study that was done in the States realized that most adults don't really listen to this advice. They give their children cough mixtures.
Right.
Yeah, and all these other flu medications when they are ill.
Okay.
But generally, like it was said in the video, adequate hydration. Sometimes when the immune system is a bit off, you get these mild infections coming in. So one will have to go on vitamins if you have some vitamin malnutrition issues. So adequate. Sometimes a bit of a headache, a painkiller may do. But when you notice that it's getting worse, there's severe pain in the throat, you have some sputum that is yellowish or brownish, there's a fever, chest pain, you can't really breathe too well, you ought to see a doctor quickly.
Okay. I usually just grind ginger and mix it with like a soda or some kind of fruit juice, and that seems to help me. Is that a way or shape or form to help at all that you can do at home?
I remember my father did that for me once when I was young, and it did relieve my cough.
It did.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's not something I've come across as routine medical practice, but some people do that to relieve their symptoms. So as long as it works,
doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt and it works for you. I mean, why not? But if the cough is a mild cough, which is not too serious, cough mixture will do. One of these lozenges will take care of it. Ginger, fine. And they used to give ginger, these ginger toffees. Yeah, to soothe the throat and all that. Yeah.
Okay, so they do help in some ways. Is it all coughs that need attention?
No.
Okay, please clarify for us, because obviously there will be some people who may go around today coughing, and we might be fighting, So
some coughs are just due to an irritation. Maybe I'm eating and something goes down the wrong way a bit. I cough to clear it out. So that's a reflex to protect me from choking. Yeah, and then sometimes you have a bit of a flu and there's a bit of some cough. It's nothing serious. But the problem is differentiating between the ones that need attention and the ones that don't need attention.
Okay.
And since most people are not expertise on these issues, so sometimes it's best that you see a doctor.
Should we be looking at our surroundings? Because we burn rubbish indiscriminately in public. Like you said, there's a lot of dust. We have a lot of old vehicles pushing pollution into the air. All of these factors that could bring on coughs.
Yeah, some people are easily, like myself, easily irritated by these things. So when I come across these things, I'll cough. Then I also want to say something that with regards to cough, we should indulge the culture of coughing into handkerchiefs. Now we want to stress more on tissues and handkerchiefs. Right. So we dispose the tissues of. Most people keep their hankies in their pockets.
Yes.
And sometimes wave them about when they go around.
Ouch.
Yeah. So we should really hit on this point that we need to, because when we cough, we spread the germs that can cause infection. So we can contaminate others. So we need to really do this. And if there's anyone that you're living with or anyone that who has had a chronic cough that has been lasted for more than 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, you ought to tell them to go. It may be tuberculosis.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Doc, I don't want to keep you anymore. We've actually run out of time in the segment as well, so thank you so much for coming in. This has been Dr. Bright Chirudu from the Narbita Hospital.